Welcome back. Joining me is a well-known cultural activist, Carlos Celdran. Of course, the person who originated the famous walking tours. Hi, thank you for joining us on the show, Carlos.
Hi, Dwayne. Thanks for having me.
Well, you saw the presentation I did just a while ago. What do you think of it?
Very thorough. I actually didn't even quite think about that analogy or that metaphor until you guys brought it up, but it's true. Kind of that sort of slapdash, let's just put a Band-Aid on top of it and just hope for the best attitude has been around for such a while. Even the jeepney is an exact symbol of that. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a temporary solution to the loss of the tram system that was destroyed in World War II. We don't seem to be capable of making any grand plans and sticking with them, you're right.
Well, I don't know. Do you think that's necessarily bad, though?
I think it just comes part and parcel with a developing country. I mean, I have to remember a lot of these symbols and a lot of these things are things that we did not really totally create on our own. Malacanan Palace was originally a Spanish beach house. The steps of the legislature was done by the Americans, you know. So really, I think we're still in our very early steps. And settling to either one of the plans is a good idea. Mm-hmm.
You're referring to either the Burnham or the
Burnham, or even talking about President Marcos's also revisions of everything, and the Batasan. Choosing any one of those plans and sticking with it is a good idea. But you're right. We just have to choose one.
Okay.
Right. That the most important thing is to just choose one.
All right. Well, if you had your druthers, which one would it be? One that would incorporate all these institutions in a single government center.
Okay, romantically speaking, I do like the Daniel Burnham plan because it really is an ambitious plan. It takes in vistas, it takes in the climate of the Philippines into consideration. But sticking with the Burnham plan was done for a city whose population was less than 1 million people. Right, Manila is now 14 million people, so I think the Burnham plan has to be appreciated, perhaps brought back to its state as much as it can, but it cannot fulfill its original purpose.
Okay.
I would rather stick to the Quezon City plan, the Aureliano, Frost plan, because there's still so much space. I mean, you have to understand that Quezon City and the national capital, like what we know now to be elliptical circle, was supposed to be the government headquarters once upon a time, all the way back from 1938. Mm-hmm. So ever since 1938, downtown Manila has already been congested and obsolete and in need of decongestion. Okay. That's why President Quezon made it. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people didn't quite sit well with the idea because it was empty. There's nobody living in Quezon City yet, right? But
at
now,
the time, right?
At the time. Mm-hmm. But now, as you can completely see, things have changed. I find it kind of ridiculous now, or kind of silly, that downtown Manila is still the seat of power, or the capital of the Philippines, when 8 out of 10 government offices are in Quezon City.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. We could probably count, but there are some reasons, I think, to keep it at the, say, the CCP Rojas Boulevard area, what with the Senate already being there, renting the GSIS building.
The Senate is also a temporary building. The Senate's not supposed to be in the building. That building belongs to the GSIS, right? Let's move Senate closer to Congress. But the thing is, it's kind of hard to create a grand plan and sticking with it is not going to be cheap, especially when the people who are going to be enjoying this plan are politicians. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, you're trying to create a brand new seat of power. So basically, let's build a brand new house for people who already have too much money. It's going to be almost impossible to get anybody's sympathy to recreate this grand plan.
Really, despite my wonderful presentation showing the importance of having these symbolisms to, you know, our character as a nation?
Unfortunately, though, we're not putting President Quezon and Claro M. Recto into these buildings, but we're putting in our current batch of congressmen and people of power.
You saying they're not worth it, huh?
I just say it's going to be hard to create sympathy for people to refurbish their houses or to make things easier for them and more symbolic. I mean, but ideally, once the Philippine economy and all of these people who are in power have proven themselves to be competent, and the Philippines does have a surplus of money to create a proper seat of power, fulfilling the Quezon City plan is the most ideal. Okay. There's enough space. Everybody lives there. It's far enough from the ocean or anywhere else. It's easy to secure. Mm-hmm. Right now, Malacanan Palace is right in front of a river where anybody can really sail by and lob a bomb into. And with all of the space, you can really create a city that is perhaps emblematic of the Filipino dream. Mm-hmm. I mean, I really think that the Philippine capital city is yet to be designed by a Filipino architect who is probably yet to be born,
okay,
or who's still now just starting out.
But you think that would be important, though, that it be a Filipino architect?
Yeah, I think it'd be a Filipino architect. Somebody will take into consideration Philippine symbolisms, the Philippine climate, budget, and all of those extraneous factors to really create a brand new Philippine capital. I mean, obviously the last 3 plans have failed. So let's cram up with a brand new plan.
Okay. Well, does it start with revisiting what Quezon Memorial Circle is now, which is really the resting place for
It's a resting
Manolo's
place. It's kind of odd
grandfather.
having a concert right on top of Quezon's grave, but you know, that's not my choice to make. But we should visit Quezon Memorial Circle, if anything, for just the to show you that symbolism and architecture and beauty can really create a great structure for a nation. I mean, if you look at the Quezon Memorial, the 3 angels who are crying, holding some pagitas, over 3 pylons that are 66 feet tall, representing the 66 years of Quezon, with the 3 stars of the Philippines underneath it. And I mean, it's gorgeous, right? And when you marry history, architecture, and symbolism together, you can get something as stunning as that. So I think what people have to do
You
is...
can expand on that, therefore. Yes,
Yeah,
is that what
expand
you're
on that. So maybe now make the Quezon Memorial Circle kind of like the new central radius where a new capital can expand from. Maybe we should revisit the original Expo plan of Mina Gabor back in the 1990s before President Arap canceled the Philippine Expo project. I remember they had a great redevelopment project for the Quezon Memorial Circle that integrated commercial, residential, political needs for the particular neighborhood. I mean, people just don't understand how big Quezon City is and how much potential there is to create a brand new face for the Philippines.
Okay. Well, did the Mina Gabor plan incorporate government offices being moved there somehow to provide for a government
I'm not
center?
quite sure.